Title: My wife's coworkers convinced her to ghost me for a week to establish dominance. Day 8, she came home to find I'd ghosted the entire marriage. Start: It was the silence that told me everything. The kind that hums at the edge of your sanity. 8 days of it. No calls, no texts, not even a breadcrumb of explanation. She wanted to see what I'd do, I later learned. A test of power, her friends called it. Establish dominance. See if I'd crawl? I didn't. I learned to listen instead, to what silence really means when someone chooses it as a weapon. And by the time she came home, I'd already turned it back on her, amplified. Before all that, there was love, or something wearing its face. We met in the ordinary way. A coffee spilled, a laugh, an apology that turned into a date. She was magnetic, sharp wit, endless eyes. The kind of woman who filled a room before she spoke. For years we were solid. I believed that. Late-night drives, plans for a future that felt heavy with meaning. We built a life, a house, savings, routines. She'd text me goodnight even when she worked late. I thought loyalty was our language. Turns out, I was fluent in fantasy. It started with her phone face down more often than usual. Then, laughter that didn't reach her eyes. A faint, smug distance, like she knew something I didn't. On the 5th day of her silence, I called her office. Her coworker hesitated before telling me she was fine. Something in her tone slipped, a giggle that didn't belong in concern. That night, I scrolled through her public social media. One of her friends posted a meme. Ladies, ghost him for a week and watch him panic. If he loves you, he'll crawl back. If not, well, you learned your rank. The comments were all inside jokes. Hers was one of them. A simple, day 4, my heart didn't break. It calcified. Pain sharpened into something colder, cleaner. Not rage, calculation. I stopped being the husband. I became the observer. I didn't confront her. That's what she expected. Emotional outburst, validation of her little game. No, I went quiet too. But my silence had purpose. First, I backed up every joint account, every password, every shared document. Then I rerouted my direct deposit to a new account she didn't know existed. I sold the second car, my name only, and wired the funds out. Next came the house. I'd bought it before we married. Her name was never on the deed. I called a locksmith, changed the locks. She was still ignoring me, committed to the bit, her coworker said in a text I intercepted through our shared tablet. They thought they were coaching empowerment. They were feeding execution plans to the wrong man. I documented everything. Screenshots, timestamps, messages. A full dossier of arrogance. By day 6, I had moved my essentials into a storage unit and wiped the house of anything personal. My clothes, my watch, my father's records, gone. By day 7, I met with a lawyer, filed for divorce citing emotional cruelty and abandonment. I left copies of the filings neatly stacked on the kitchen island beside her favorite wine. Day 8. She came home. I watched from the car across the street. Her laughter carried before she even opened the door, that post-work cheerfulness people fake to feel normal. Then, silence, the kind that swallows air. She stepped inside expecting a sulking husband. Instead, she found a ghost. No shoes at the door, no toothbrush in the holder, closets yawning open, empty, the house echoing with absence. I imagined her confusion curdling into panic. The fridge, bare except for the divorce papers. The bank accounts, zeros staring back at her. My note, 6 words written in the same calm she'd weaponized. I learned from the best. Goodbye. Her calls started within minutes. I watched the phone light up on the passenger seat beside me. I didn't answer. Then came the texts, first frantic, then angry, then desperate. Where are you? This isn't funny. We can fix this. Finally, please. I let them pile up. Silence again. But this time, I owned it. 2 days later, her friend, the self-proclaimed relationship guru, messaged me. "You overreacted," she said. "It was just a joke." So I sent her a single email attachment, a PDF of their chat logs, her advice in full display. Make him chase. He's too comfortable. Men respect fear. That file found its way into their office group chat. I made sure of it. By the end of the week, she wasn't just ghosted, she was isolated. The coworkers she'd tried to impress avoided her. Her manager called her in for unprofessional conduct. Her dominance dissolved into humiliation. Some nights I still think about the first time she said she loved me. How her eyes softened, how sure she sounded. Maybe she meant it then. Maybe she didn't. But intent doesn't erase consequence. Ghosting someone to test their devotion is cruelty wrapped in insecurity. And cruelty has a way of circling back, finding its source like smoke returning to fire. She wanted silence. I gave her the purest kind, the kind that ends things completely. Now, when I walk through my new apartment, smaller, quieter, mine, I don't feel regret, just clarity. Revenge wasn't about destruction. It was about balance. She took absence and made it a weapon. I turned absence into freedom. And that's the difference between her silence and mine. Hers was a game. Mine was an ending.